very unkeyed about the whole episode before it started, because it was straight after the Cardiff Commonwealth Games, and we were a group of Australians just on a bit of a trip, having a bit of fun really, and it wasn't until I arrived at the stadium, felt the enormous excitement in the stadium, and saw the huge crowd that I started to get a few butterflies myself.
The track itself was the realisation of Billy Morton's dream. It gave Ireland a track as competitive as any other in the world. The stadium was an ideal type of stadium. It was in this sort of beautiful semi-dome rural setting. There were thousands of people there. The atmosphere in the stadium with people standing on top of cars and on top of each other's shoulders and all this stuff, it's just absolutely electric.
And there goes the gun, and there they go. Elliot left a little, moving up now. Thomas into the lead at the first bend on the first lap. It's slightly built. Squat Thomas leading the field now with Delany tucked in sixth, Elliot behind him, and Lincoln second.
I think the Irish crowd was extraordinary. They had their boy Ronnie Delany, who was the gold medalist from Melbourne in 1956 in the 1500 metres, defending his honour against a skinny little fella from Australia. And the crowd was tremendously pro-Ron, naturally. And I think that probably fired the Australians up a little bit, thinking, well, you know, if the crowd's going to be that much one way, let's give them something to think about. And for that reason, Alby Thomas and I and Merv Lincoln had a bit of a discussion, and we decided that Albert would set a couple of laps around about 4-minute mile pace, and then Merv Lincoln would move in to take over the third lap, and then Merv and I would fight it out between the two of us to see who was going to be the best Australian.
As they pass the quarter mile, the time, Finbar.
The time just on 58 seconds.
58 seconds, a fast quarter, away they go. Thomas freeing out this field now. The rest of the field tailed off. It's Thomas, Lincoln, Elliot, Halberg, and who is that in front of Delaney?
It's an additional runner, Phil, whose number
or
an
name additional
is not
runner
on the
we
program.
can't get. Do you know him, Liam?
No, I can't pick him out at this
An
stage.
additional runner running fifth anyway. The field is Thomas by 2 yards from Lincoln, by 2 yards from Elliot, by 2 yards from Halberg, then this unknown runner, and then Ronnie Delaney, and the other five are nowhere.
Having such a relaxed frame of mind before the event and not having geared myself up for it perhaps as much as I should have, you would expect that my performance would have been crook, but there are times where you run on the ground and there are other times where you float over the ground, and that was one of those nights where it was floating.
Delany moving up, Delany passing Halberg, Delany in fourth place, Delany in fourth is Thomas, Elliot, Lincoln, Halberg, Delany at the time of the half mile.
Just under 1:59.
A tremendously cruel pace this, a 4-minute mile is going to go tonight. It's Thomas still leading, with Elliot now passing him. Elliot taking the lead as they swing into the third quarter. The 4-minute mile should be broken in Dublin tonight.
That race signalled the end of one era, say my era of miling, as a sort of amateur, don't train too hard type of miler. Because to do what he did, you really had to do the mileage. And for example, in that era, I would have been running, say, an average of 50 miles a week, where the Elliots came along and they were running 100 miles a week. So therefore they were not twice as strong as, say, my type of runner, but they were substantially stronger.
Up to the 3/4 mile stage. It's Lincoln by 3 yards from Elliot, by 1 yard from Thomas, with Halberg behind Thomas and Delany behind Halberg, and there goes the bell, and as they swing into it, the time
just under 3 minutes.
3 minutes, less than 3 minutes. Elliot takes the lead again, followed by Lincoln.
We were used to running the first half mile in about 2 minutes, and then we'd take a rest and run a sort of 65-second third lap. Elliot took us through the third lap in about 60 seconds, so we were hitting the 3/4 mile in 3 minutes. And the sort of psychological shock of having to run the third lap fast, and the pain was not alone in your head, but you had pain in your arms and pain in your legs and pain everywhere. This having to drive yourself through a third lap.
Delany kicking now. Has he left it too late? I think he has. He's kicking as hard as he can now, but Elliot is sprinting away. Elliot, long legs flashing, tearing the dust on the track, swinging into the straight for the last time. It's Herb Elliott. Blue singlet flashing, blessing away to a 20-yard victory. And at the time he passes it, the time as he passes the tape, in front of Lincoln with Elliot and Halberg tussling for third place.
It's a fantastic time, Phil. 3:54.6.
3:54.6. Liam Browne on the track. What do you make it?
3:54.3, I make it.
Oh my goodness, what a race, what a time. In Dublin tonight, history has been made.
Well, I've just got the official time from the referee, Mr. Seamus Breslin. Winner's time, Elliot's time, 3 minutes 54.5. Lincoln's time, 3 minutes 55.9. And Delaney's time, 3 minutes 57.5.
This is a night which will not easily be forgotten.
One of the other things that stands out in my mind, and I still laugh about it really, the laugh may be on me ultimately, but an Irish journalist came up to me after the race, and I think he'd had a couple of pots of Guinness, and he said, how do you explain this extraordinary time? Do you think it was because there's lots of trees around the Santry Stadium and there was a high concentration of oxygen on the track? And I just thought that was the craziest theory I'd ever heard in my life, but maybe he was right.